Welcome, everyone. If you've joined us before, welcome. And if this is your very first time, you're still in the right place. So we're just waiting for a few more people to join. Please put in the chat where you're joining us from.
Yeah, we can give another 5 minutes for other people to join us. You put in your name and where you are joining from.
So you're here today for the Agile Product Management, Keys to Building Successful Products that Scale. Joining me, I guess we can come on camera now. Dr. Ramani, Coach Adam, Ibrahim, and then my humble self, Florence. Dr. Fran and Coach Ibrahim, you coming off camera? Are you coming on camera?
Hey, hello everyone. Thank you for joining us. If you're able to come on camera, we'll be happy to see your faces.
Let me just quickly read where people are joining us from while we're waiting. So we have someone from Richmond, Texas. Welcome. Someone from Lagos. Oh, that's real sacrifice. We know that it's probably 11 p.m. or something in Lagos. Gabriela from Lagos. We have Banke from Maryland. Elizabeth from Ibadan. Oh, Chidima from Nigeria also. From Zambia. Wow, I think that would be our first Zambia. We have iPhone. If you wouldn't mind, we really request that our guests kindly rename themselves to their actual name. We'll really, really appreciate that. So that it's not showing us Olawale throughout. It's not showing us iPhone when you're not commenting. So we know who's in the room. Deborah is joining us from Nigeria. Aluchuku from Abuja. Blessing from Nigeria. We have Vivon from New Orleans. And then, okay, yeah, it's 12 midnight. That is true sacrifice. We appreciate you. So Coach Ibrahim and Coach Francesca, do we kick off or we?
Yeah, yes, it's good to start on time. Yes.
All right, and we want to let you know that the session is going to be recorded. And it's and it will be on our YouTube page afterwards. All right, so going into Agile Disciples. Our mission, Agile Disciples is a not-for-profit organization formed by 10 Agile enthusiasts. And our vision is to empower and develop our communities that we belong to. We create knowledge, awareness, and empowerment in our communities through coaching, skills development to close opportunity gap. We do this through hosting an event every single month online. And we also, in a year, try to have at least 2 in-person events. And they've always been really, really of value to our audience. Here are some of the coaches that co-founded Agile Disciples. And this is the 3rd year of Agile Disciples, actually. That's a nice fun fact, right? So we have myself, Florence Olumodimu. If you're on the call, coaches, please put on your camera. We have Divine Oshideko. We have Chichi Afia, Dr. Francesca Ramoni, that's on the program today with me. Dr. Anne Jademi, I believe I saw you on the call. Temi Tokwe Obe. We have Godwin Waga. We have Femi Ojo. I saw Femi Ojo too on the call. So guys, put on your camera and just, say a brief hello to the audience. We also
happy you're here today. Thank you.
Thank you so much for supporting. So, and as we are giving back to the community, you know that when you give, you also need to be filled, right? So we have mentors. We have amazing mentors that contribute to us and help also to come and contribute to our community. And in fact, there's one of these our mentors that will be coming along in May. By the time we finish the program today, we'll share with you what's happening coming up in May. But one of our mentors, Coach Bob Gallen, will be coming. So we'll tell you more about that at the end of today's program. Coach Anu Gopal, somebody is using the annotate button. If you are the person,
somebody, I don't know.
please stop doing that. Thank you. We have Coach Anu Gopal. She's actually now Dr. Anu Gopal. We have Coach Bob Gallen, Coach Kemi Raji, and Coach Femi Odelusi. These are amazing Agile practitioners that have been giving to us, freely, and has really helped us. As they're giving to us, we are also giving to our community. Today, we're going to start with a quick icebreaker. So Dr. Fran's going to come back to do an icebreaker. We'll take you through what a product vision and strategy is, walk you through a brief synopsis of the Agile development process, and then the important ingredients that go into scaling a successful product. User centricity, which is like number one. Feedback, scaling in Agile. Then we'll walk through 2 fun case studies of brands that are really killing it. And then we'll take questions. But please feel free anytime through the program, if you have questions, put them in the chat so that any of the coaches that see it, if it's something that we need to stop to address, we will. But other than that, we'll address them at the end of the session. So with this, I'd like to hand over to Coach Francesca.
Good afternoon and good evening or good night, wherever you are. So my name is Francesca Ramoni. I'm going to be one of the facilitators today. Looking forward to a very, very collaborative session. We're going to be learning together here. So today I'm going to start with the icebreaker. The icebreaker is one word at a time. So we are kind of going to be forming a story. I remember when in kindergarten, we used to start a story that once upon a time. So my one word today as an icebreaker is I'm going to start once upon a time, and then I'm going to call, I'm going to pass it over to somebody to continue that story, and then you pass it over to somebody, and then it will come back to me, and then we'll just close the, that once upon a time story of ours. So I'm going to start the story. Once upon a time, Adam.
Time. There was this Agile coach named Ibrahim Adam, and he's quite friendly, charming, and he's passing the baton to the next person.
Who? Call the name.
So the next person is going to be Gabriel.
One word to the story, Gabriel.
Yeah.
One word.
The charming coach Ibrahim took Gabriel as his mentee. I'm passing the mic to Madam Florence.
Thank you.
And Florence enjoyed mentoring. I pass on to Anne. Doctor?
Yes, sorry. I'm here now.
Oh, we're telling a story. You have to contribute one word to it. I just said I enjoy mentoring. That's with Coach Adam. That was part of the story. So what would if you continue the story, what would you say?
I enjoy mentoring fellow junior workers.
Who should go next? Call someone.
I call on Wale.
And all I only learned from the brilliance of mentors is opportunity to make on this platform.
Who are you calling,
Pass it on.
Wale?
I'm calling next Fran.
Okay, and this that's me. And the mentoring session with these coaches went on very well, and we're enjoying it. And I'm going to pass it to Femi Ojo. Okay, so Femi's not there, so let's go to Senna. Senna Grace.
Maybe 2 more people. Coach Fran, you're on mute.
Okay, let's go to Cynthia. Okay, let's go to Deborah. To you. How about Elizabeth?
I can't remember where the other person stopped. So
Just say something, it doesn't matter.
okay. Once upon a time, I was privileged to be a part of the Agile Disciple training and probably a mentee on the training with Divine Oshideko.
All right. Thank you, Elizabeth.
Thank you so much. So once upon a time, there were these mentees and coaches, and today the story will end by telling you the guys that once upon a time, mentees, coaches are the ones in Agile Disciples, and we are here today to present Agile Product Management. And that is the end of the story. Thank you.
Thank you for that icebreaker. And for our people joining the call, the icebreaker sessions are always ways that you can learn ways to engage your team. Because every single thing we do here is we are doing things that you can go back to your team and practice. Don't be afraid that it's a whole new kind of icebreaker. With your teams also, it's something that you need to always bring something fresh, something new, and you learn along the way. And there's no wrong answer. Yeah. So with this, I hand over to Coach Ibrahim to take us.
Thank you very much. I hope everyone can hear me.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Great. So, introductions. I know most of us here are Agilists, so let's talk about Agile Product Management. It combines flexibility, customer focus, and iterative development for effectively and efficiently meet customer needs. And if you look at today's topic, the keys to why products scale. Have you ever wondered why that is? One of the very strong factor to why a product will be successful and then eventually scale is customer centricity. The products that listen to what their customers want and are able to adapt to those wants and create a product that meets it, those products are the ones that become successful and ultimately get more users, so they scale. And that's in the product mix, that's one of the reasons why Agile works very well in product management, because Agile is customer-centric and adapts to change. So while as product people, our ultimate goal is for us to do a great job in terms of the product and to the users as well, there isn't a simple formula on how to make a product successful. But these are 4 key points that all successful products have. And that's desirability, feasibility, viability, and ethicality. So when we talk about desirability, what it means is that for a product to be successful, it has to have a tangible value. It has to solve a particular problem, and that solution is one that the users, they find valuable because it's of benefit to them. If customers don't need a product, then it's gonna fail. It's because they won't buy it because they don't need it. So if it doesn't create value for its users, it's doomed to fail. So desirability is one of the strongest characteristics successful products have. Then next is feasibility. So when we talk about feasibility, what this implies is that at the moment, is it possible to design that product? Can you produce the product? Is it feasible to make in terms of technology and also in terms of the people with the right skill sets to create that product? And when we talk about viability, what we mean about viability is that, is there the right justification for the business to create that product? Is it going to be a viable product that's going to bring return of investment and profitability? And sometimes the product might reduce the cost for the business as well. So it has to be viable. Now, when we look at ethicality, what this means is that the product isn't going to harm anybody. It is not going to harm the environment. It's not going to harm the planet as well. So you have to look at things like, you know, when you, particularly in software products or any other product for that matter, people won't become so addicted to it that they are hooked on it. So you have to create products in an ethical way. So keying into that, how do you actually get the work done? So one of the ways in which you can do that is using a vision board in which you're able to visualize to the stakeholders, your customers, your users, internal and external, the vision of the product. And it will be created in an ethical way. And what is the need? Why is this product desirable? What is the need? What is the want for the product? What problem does it solve? If it has a real value, a real need, then you are able to target the product to your target group. Who's going to use this product? Who are you aiming to get them to? Who are you aiming to sell it to as the product grows on? And then you also look at viability. What exactly is the product we're developing, and what are business goals as an organization developing it? We are moving the slide. Okay. So we move on to looking at the vision, opportunity, and execution. So we just looked at the vision board, which visualizes what we're about to do. But other than visualizing the work itself and also building the product, we also have to execute the product. Now, these three factors are very important because apart from you getting the right market fit, the product and satisfies the need of the customers in your vision, and having the opportunity that you can actually create it, you can get the profitability from doing the product itself. You also need to make sure that you have the right expertise, the right team structure, and the right process. Now, obviously, when it comes to execution, this is another place where Agile is very key. And the resources as well, funds, and you have to be able to measure your feedback as well as your performance. So I'll move on to the next slide. Now, most of these products and brands actually, they're household names. These are the top 10 global on the planet, the companies that make products that are most successful and the ones that have scaled the most. So when I use scale, what I mean is that in terms of the growth, the number of people that are actually using the product. So, and if anyone has questions, please raise your hand or put it in the chat. So we move on to North America. So in North America, here in America, these are top 10 brands that create products that are very successful. I don't think there'll be anyone in the audience that doesn't know any of these brands. They're that successful. So further to the slides that we've been talking about, what we're here to find out is in our different organizations, what can we learn from these brands, from these products that they create, that we can put it into our organization and the products that we create so that our products too can be successful. So we move on to, and we're going to have a case study where we're going to have a deep dive into some of these brands and products that they've made and how they've been able to make them successful.
Thank you, Coach Ibrahim. Coach Fran.
Next slide. Okay, so when we're talking about agile product management, we're talking about how can we as product managers go to the customer or go to the business or stakeholders and help them with their mission, vision, and strategy. So our job is to help them to clear and understand what strategies they are. Because as an agile environment, we have to be very clear of what our mission and our vision and strategy is. So as a product manager, the customer or the organization define what is their product vision, what is their long-term direction, what are they looking at in the next 3 years, 5 years, 6 months, however, you guys decide to look at the vision and the mission of the organization. You have to be working closely with the customers, and your customer at this point is the organization. Your customer could be your team members, your customer could be an external or internal, just to understand what solutions do we need to bring forth. What value can I bring to the customer? What are their pain points? What is that thing which I can bring to them to solve their problems? And we can do that by doing research. We can do that by doing our quantitative and qualitative research. We can do that by meeting the customer and just having customer feedback. We can do that by having, interviews with the customer. And you help the organization also set the strategic product goals. What are their initiatives? And these initiatives must align with the overall business objectives. So what is their business objective? So as a product manager, you must understand those things. What is their product business objective? What are their strategies? What is their mission and vision? And align that to exactly what the business wants or what the customer needs. Next point. So when we talk about the product vision and strategy, as I mentioned there, we are looking at that customer, the customer centric. That is very, very important to us. What problem are we trying to solve to these people? What do they really need? What value are we going to be adding to them? What solutions do we need? This is the problem. How can we solve it? Is it aligning with our business objectives? What is this product targeted to? What are these business initiatives, or what is this product going to serve? Which kind of community, which kind of population, or which kind of, areas? If you're doing IT, is it going to help in our infrastructure? Is it going to help in our architecture? Then we're looking at visions. Why are we doing what we're doing? So why are we building automated cars? Where is the need? And then once we have that vision of why we are doing what we're doing, how can we be able to do it? So what are our strategies? How are we going to be able to meet our end goal? How are we going to be able to really honor those business initiatives and be able to give our customer solution to their issue or a value to their product? And what is going to be the output, going to be our goal and the features? What do we want to achieve? So when you are working on the vision and the mission and strategy of the organization as a product manager, what is the goal you are helping the organization achieve? And you are going to do this by looking at their, of course, mission, vision, their business initiatives, and those must align using the agile environment and using the agile methodology in order for you to be able to deliver that. What are the features we're going to work on? So in the product vision, we can have the project vision board. Here, you create a board whereby everybody can be able to see who are the targeted group. First and foremost, the vision. What is the purpose for creating the product? Which positive change can this product bring? What value is it going to bring? Do we just create it because other people are creating it, or are we doing it because there's a need? So what kind of people are we targeting? Are we targeting teachers, students, doctors, nurses? What are the market segments for this product? Who are we going to be addressing? And then the needs. What problem does this product solve? So if you're creating a database, what problem is it going to solve? Which benefit does it prove? So you have your benefit hypothesis. What are you trying to prove? And what is the product? What type of product are you going to look for to be able to align with your vision and mission? What will make us stand out from other people by having this product? And then you look at our budget, or we look at the market segments. Is it even feasible to develop this product? Does it, in layman language, does it make sense producing this item or this product? You know, as per our budget, as per our business initiatives, our alignment, and even the market, how the market looks. Are we making any sense when we are going to produce this product? Next slide. So when we are doing agile project management, we are looking at the tools we're going to use. So we talked about we're going to be looking at the vision, okay? How can we look at the vision? Using our tools. So when we are doing visioning, we are looking at the why. Why are we doing what we are doing? Some of the tools which you can use are impact mapping. In impact mapping, you can just look at how can you be able to look at the customer or the persona on how this item we want to produce is going to be able to help them while we're doing it. We can use vision boards. We can use business model canvas. We can use lean canvas. And in strategy is how are we going to be doing this? Story mapping. We have to be good at storytelling. We have to do product map, roadmap. It's telling us where we need to be, when we need to be, and how we're going to be there. So a roadmap is just, like the word roadmap, is just guiding you on where you need to be in the process of this product, so that everybody knows that at a particular time, we are here, we are working on this. And then the what? Tactics. How are we going to be able to put all these items in one place whereby we can see, and then we can go ahead and work on them? So we have the product backlog. If you're doing a release train engineer, you have the art backlog. So you can look at the product backlog. What do we get from the product backlog? We deduce the items we need there. You go to the team's backlog. In the team's backlog, we're going to create user stories. And those user stories, how are we going to be developing them? Are we going to be using BDD, or what type of stories are we going to be creating for us to be able to develop or deliver this product to the customer? Next slide. Okay, so when you talk about agile development process, usually we have PDCA. Here we're going to talk about project initiation. We're going to talk about planning, development, production, and retirement. So what happens is ideation, project initiation. There's an idea of, what needs to be developed. We come to the room, we talk about that idea. How are we going to be able to get this? This is the idea. This is what we want to develop. Okay, how are we going to do it? Then we go to planning. We plan, we break it into initiatives, we break it to epics, we break it to features, Then we got development, whereby now the teams are really in the ground developing the product. They have the user stories, they have their testing, their keyword, they're working there. Then we go to production. So we've developed it, we are going to take it to production. So this is the item we built for you. Here it is, it's going to production. We have done our QA, we have done our review, and we think it's good to go. So that cycle continues until we feel like we are done with this item, we are done with this product, and now we're going to retire it. So if we are producing, let's say, an infrastructure runway, so we are done, our processes are seamless, we have removed the waste in the system, we're good, we can go to the next item. That is what this diagram is all about. So in agile development process, we continuously go through that cycle. And this is concept. So we're envisioning and prioritizing our projects. We identify those problems and solutions. Why are we building what we are doing? Then we go to inception. We identify the team members. Funds are allocated because we have a budget for it. we discuss environments and the requirements. As an organization, we have requirements which we need to fulfill for our customer. Then these things go in iterations. Most of us know how we do every 2 weeks. Some people do every 3 weeks. SAFe talks about 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks, we are doing iteration. We are reviewing, we are developing, and we are testing and delivering a working software. And then we're doing a retrospective, coming back with our feedback, injecting new items in our process, and we continuously keep moving. Once we do that, we go to release. Once we have developed what we need to develop, test, review, we go ahead and deploy the software. We are deploying this software to the end users. And as we are doing that, we are finding out or trying to review if the performance is as expected. Is it usability? Is it working as we thought it should work? Are we really giving the customer what they need? And once that is done and we've gone 2 years, 3 years, we decide that, you know what, we are done with this. Let's terminate this software. We no longer need it, or it's no longer supporting what we are currently planning to do. And that's retired, and a new thing is come, and the process continue going, you know, initiation, concept, and all that. And that's a continuous process. You are tracking what you're doing. You are evaluating what you're doing. You are reviewing, and then you're releasing, you're deploying to the production, getting feedback, and then just seeing whether it's usable. And then, you know, you retire it. Next slide. So I talked about feedback. Feedback is very critical to the agile process. Most of us know that this is what we get from our customers in order for us to enhance or develop or do some innovation on the products they want us to build for them. So the first one we do is we plan. We create a continuous plan for our feedback. What is the action plan? So we've come in here, we are talking how this product has gone. We are giving our feedback. We are creating an action plan. These 5 feedbacks or these 6 feedback, how can we be able to make them come alive and help our customer? Then we identify 3 people, maybe Elizabeth, Cynthia, and Fran. They're going to execute this feedback. So the feedback is in the feedback plan. We're going to execute it. We are going to execute this so that when we come to the next iteration, these things are injected in our system. And when we go to our retrospective, we kind of close them out and give ourselves a thumbs up that, yes, we've done what is need to be done. The number 3 is we monitor that feedback. We keep on checking. Are we implementing those changes? Are we really adhering to what we discussed in our plan for our continuous feedback action item? We need to be implementing any feedback we receive. That is why it's a process improvement system or method, whereby whatever is necessary, whatever feedback we get from our customer, we put it back, plow it back to our process so that we can make it better for our customer, or we can wow our customer and give them something which they did not expect, but better than what they wanted. And then act. We need to take necessary actions to implement the plan we have. We implement that plan of information in our systems. So we are planned, we have done, we are checking that things are going on. Now we need to take action. And action is by developing better products for our customers, which will give them value over and beyond their expectation. Next slide. Okay, so I'm going to pass it here to Adam. User-centric design. This is one of the methods we can use to be able to make our designs better and visible to the customer. So Adam, Coach Adam.
Thank you. Okay, so looking at user-centric designs, we want to define from the feedback and interactions we've had from our customers, what have we learned? And once we're able to visualize that, we want to decide what we need to create based on those feedback. And we get a prototype out to the users that they can actually test and interact with and see how it works. And then they're going to give us more feedback on the things they like and some of the things they don't like. And from that validation from the users, we're able to then iteratively, in an agile form, improve on that prototype. And this is the way the product continues to evolve internally until we get to the point where we know that the product that we want to put on the shelf and release to the market is actually a product that is going to be successful in the market. So we continue to discover and empathize with the user. And in future variations and versions of the product, we'll evolve the product. So this is a user-centric design. This is a powerful concept because, you know, if you feel as a company, which a lot of companies do, that you have very brilliant minds and you come up with that product yourself without taking the customer along in your design, then you may just find out that the feedback you get when you are trying to sell the product is something you should have iterated over. So another point, a key point to this is why Agile works for user-centric designs. So customer, people, very important when it comes to being able to get products to be successful and for them to scale. So this is depicting some of the processes that I just explained, which we have to go through. So the first is that we have to go into the market to understand, we have to do market research to understand what is actually going on in the market. What does the customer need? What are the problems? What are the solutions that we can come up with? So we gather all these hypotheses, we gather the inspiration, and we develop the empathy. You can create like empathy maps and all that to achieve that. But the basic thing is that we're able to meet the customer's need in this process of inspiration. And as you see in the graph, you know, it's very high. The energy and the effort is very high on there. But once we've gathered all of this information, we can then find meaning to this information. We can synthesize this information, the feedback we receive from the customer, and frame the challenge. You know, thinking broadly, we understand what the need of the customer is, and then we begin to craft it into a product that the customer can actually use. So we come up with different solutions, and through that same iterative process, we refine the solutions, we refine the ideas, and we begin to think narrowly, and then we turn some of them into prototypes and put those prototypes, once we've created them, into the hands of the users for them to use, to test, and give us even more feedback. And we continue this continuous iterative process until we're able to release the product into the market and continue to learn and iterate in other versions. So we see that we are able to create a useful product. We make it usable because it's now something tangible in their hands. And from the customer experience, they are delighted. We move to the next slide. So cross-functional collaboration. So product management is a multiple discipline. It's, you know, it involves overseeing development of the product, marketing the product, and the entire life cycle of the product. So as people who develop products, we have the responsibility of making sure that that product meets the customer's needs and, you know, it's viable in the market and aligned with our business objective. In order for us to be able to do this, we have to be able to work as an organization, as a single unit, a team of multiple teams. So from the people who do the research, who do the marketing, who do the development of the product, and who continuously evolve and then support the product, we have to be able to collaborate together. So what does this mean? It means a lot of talking with a lot of people are doing a lot of talking and taking in their feedback and turning those feedbacks into actions and creating a product. So cross-functionality means that you need everybody, you have everybody in the team that have valuable skills to deliver that product. So whether it's a UI UX person, it's a developer, is a delivery manager, is a marketer, is a product manager, is a CEO, executive leadership, the people who provide the funds, you need to make sure that everybody is actually creating that product in a customer-centric way. So cross-functional collaboration refers to the process of bringing together individuals from different functional areas or departments within the organization to work together on a common goal or a product. And yes, that's it. The other point has been spoken about. So why are we doing cross-functional collaboration, and why is it necessary? So some of those points highlight the reasons why we should do that. It allows you to gain better insights, because when you all talk together and you interact together and get the feedback and you validate that you're actually getting the same communication, then everybody's going to have better understanding, as opposed to people working in silos, keeping quiet and not understanding what is going on or what they ought to do. It also keeps everybody engaged in the organization, and it allows people to work in an atmosphere in a fearless atmosphere where they can be creative, they can be outspoken, and this makes innovation thrive, because it enables you to be able to implement innovative ideas, because you are listening to people, you are listening to your customers, and from what they've told you, you're actually using that to create the product. It also helps to improve communication skills amongst the organization, the employees, as well as your customers, all the stakeholders involved. It helps to develop managerial skills, because apart from your specialty, you will have to juggle other things as well. And because you're interacting with people, you'd also have to manage people as well as the product, and offers solutions for the challenges. And that's because people are going to tell you what they have in their mind, and you will be able to get solutions from the feedback that you receive. It also builds a collective team spirit, that everybody is working towards the same goal, towards the same product, and we're all listening to each other, being heard, and people can see that being put into the product. And it breaks the stereotypes and foster for changes, because as you get those feedback, you adapt the feedback into the iterations. We move to the next one. So these are some of the best practices for cross-functional collaboration. Leadership is key for funding, for direction, for being able to communicate the vision, the goals of the product, for accountability in terms of the performance in the market and while developing the product as well. So support from leaders who care about the product, who care about the people, who care in particular about the customers. They get the care back. Some of that can be in form of revenue, profit, return on investment, and customer loyalty as well. And united to solve customers' problems. We spoke about that just now. Clarity of thinking and communication. We spoke about that as well. Everybody is certain of what we are doing, why we're doing, and there are a lot of visual indicators to communicate what we are doing, as well as how we're doing it iteratively, because it's because of the feedback that we're getting. It's an iterative environment. Things are going to change, even on hourly basis, daily basis, but people are able to see that visually, and that helps the clarity of thinking and communication. And we we own up for the errors that we make. As people, as humans, a lot of our learning and our successes comes from failures. From the lessons that we take from the failures that we have, we're able to learn and then do better. So owning errors is a hallmark of high performance. And we're empowered to evolve, we're empowered to change. Because what we're doing oftentimes in a competitive market is something new, something innovative, in order for us to stay in the competition. Innovation, evolving is key. So growing a firm means growing people. And that also means empowering them to grow, to evolve. And then we become a dependable brand. The product becomes dependable because the promise of the product is kept. So top companies rely on relationships to get things done, from the people who actually do the work and to the people who actually use the products. Relationships are key.
Next slide.
Okay. So we'll see that when we looked at the slide, when we looked at the global brands as well as the brands in North America that are very successful, we'll see that ingrained is the relationship with the brand. The brand promise is always kept. Now, some of those companies would have started locally before they go to the city, to national, and then global. Now, it means that in order for you to be able to grow and scale in that proportion, the dynamics become different as the geographical now what's that right word? Like the demographics changes, right? The demographic changes. So when we look at scaling Agile, it helps us in terms of developing successful products that will scale. Scaling Agile helps us first from an organization perspective, because we're able to collaborate to create a complex initiative. Oftentimes products have different, they come in different mix. So it might not just be one particular product that you're making. So an example would be, if you look at your iPhone, every time the iPhone is released, there are different types. There's the Max, there's the Professional, the Mini, and so on and so forth. If you look at the car manufacturers, they have different, say Toyota, they have Corolla, they have the Advances, the Highlander, and so on. So there'll be different versions, there'll be different product mix, right? Even for that particular product, there'll be several styles of it. So it's a complex initiative in that sense. And also in the sense that because if it's a new product, it'll be brand new, innovative. If it's something that you're evolving, it's still going to be new because it's a new version. So it's always a complex initiative. And because there are a lot of people that are also working to develop that product, it makes it complex as well. So when we have to do that, scaling Agile helps us in the sense that you're not just talking about a team of people, maybe less than a couple of people, but you're talking about tens of thousands of people in some instances, especially in an enterprise situation. So using scaled Agile or using any form of scaling Agile framework helps in that regard. It also helps enterprise visibility because from the CEO to the lowest person, everybody understands what is being done. So there's enterprise visibility. It helps the employees and the all stakeholders to be motivated and happy because there's constant communication, there is a lot of visibility into what is happening, the roadmap, and as well as the fact that the feedbacks are taken in, and so we end up with a happy product, people are happy that they delivered to the users a product that makes them happy or delighted. It empowers team because there's clarity, there's transparency, and it's across the board, from leadership to everybody else. It allows rapid flow of value because we are doing it in small pieces, iteratively. So a lot of it is from prototyping to MVPs, being able to get something into the hands of the customer, even though it's in a small form of the product, but the value is delivered quickly. And strong network, everybody involved in that entire ecosystem of creating that product. Iterative learning, as well as experimentation. We spoke about that before. And that basically just means that we are doing things in small chunks. We are learning and we are failing fast and evolving quickly. There's a lot of experimentation that is done, but we fail fast and we learn and become successful. We're a resilient organization in that sense as well, because even though we fail, we continue to evolve and move forward. And resources are well used because everybody is put to where they will provide value. And when we see that there are gaps, we go lean to ensure that that gap is removed, eliminated, and people are used in valuable ways.
Thank you, Coach Ibrahim. We're going to take a pause here. I'm going to stop sharing so that we can see the faces of our audience. So are there any questions? That was a lot to take in. But product management is very, very interesting. And working in tech, of course, is very, very interesting. So do we have anything in the chat? Is there anything from what you've heard that
I don't
you
see any
want?
questions, but anybody that...
Okay. Is there any key takeaway from what you've heard so far? What do you think is the key to the success of scaling a product? Who wants to be courageous to put on their video and tell us? Or there must be someone that's courageous here. Okay, one of the things that is keys to success. Anyone? Understanding users, customer centricity. Anyone else? Thanks, Yvonne. Yomi, you have come on video. You want to unmute yourself and tell us? Ayomikpo.
Ayomikpo.
That's not a
Yes.
very common name. That's a unique name. Unique
Thank
product.
you very much. Yeah, thank you very much, Ibrahim, Francis. Is it Francis? I see Frank. This is quite the slides were so educative. I've left the industry for I was on a military deployment. I just came back for 6 months, so I'm resuming back on the 6th. And when I got your invite, I was like, this is one of the things that would brush me back to actually, because I'm transitioning to be a release train engineer. And these are the actual things that I really need to talk about, because we have a new product. And what they told me while I came in on Friday, I went to my office on Friday with my military uniform, and it was like, you really need to come up with a slide presentation of how new products is going to be approached in the Agile framework at scale level. So it's a new thing that we've started doing in my organization. And huge amount of work is stopped waiting for me. And this is well educated. I want to say thank you for this platform. Thank you, everyone. It's well educated. And all those slides, I'm telling you, I started
Screenshotting. Fine, feel free, but
at
we
some point.
kind of have it on
Yeah.
our
So
YouTube channel.
I just have to say, I just have to say, I just have to say, and I saw it that it's being recorded, and a lot of people need to, they will really need to watch it because a lot of informations are there, and people might be, please don't be shy, ask questions because
Ask
it's a
questions.
lot of
This
things
is a
that
safe
is there.
space.
Thank you. Somebody talking about iterative learning and knowledge, so you might want to expatiate on that. I don't want to take that.
Okay.
So thanks for sharing. I asked that you should either put on your mic and tell us some of the key takeaways so far. And I also have, so thank you, Ayomiko. We also have contributions in the chat. Yep.
Did you ask, Ayomipo, did you ask about iteration and knowledge? You wanted to know more about that?
Yes.
No, I did not ask. I said somebody threw up a
Yes.
question on that.
In the chat, I can see that our audience is showing that they were actually listening and they were taking some key snippets out. So understanding the user, resilient organization. We have what the key to product success is.
But please, the platform, I really know that a lot of problems is from user story writing perspective. I would want to encourage us, we want to come back again with actually a topic on user story writing.
Okay.
Yes, I knew you talked about it, from value stream perspective, when we are scaling from the roadmap system, then we distribute to each team. Then how do we come up with our story writing? The tech lead might just come up with this is what he wants to write. They don't, on my own case, let me put it in my own case, they don't want to write story anymore. And they are giving a lot of work to all the Scrum Masters to help them in writing it. Despite the fact that we are teaching them to be self-organized, right? But they are refusing, they just don't want to be because they think that we don't do anything.
Right.
You understand? So if we can come up with that again, because it's wild. It's not just from, how do I put it? I've forgotten the name. I'm still reading back to come back to life. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate everyone.
And so just before I start on the case studies, I want to just encourage us to check out the YouTube channel. On the YouTube channel, it's like a really great resource because you can go back to so many of the workshops we've done in the past. Please also feel free also to reach out to any of the coaches. So I'm going to share my screen again. Yes, I have two very, very interesting case studies for you. The first one is Netflix. And we have all heard about Netflix, whether you're in Nigeria, you are in Europe, you're here in America, you've either heard of it or you actually have subscribed to it. So it's the world's leading entertainment service. It has it's close to 3 million people now are subscribed to Netflix. I don't know about now that they've started like forcing people that are using joint accounts and stuff, but as at the last count, their subscriber base was close to 300 million around the world. They're in 190 countries. Like I said, they're now also accessible even back in Nigeria. We have people joining us from Lagos and Ibadan. And some of the things that they've done to bring success as a scalable product include, of course, customer centricity. From what you already heard from Coach Fran and Coach Ibrahim, customer centricity is the #1 key to successfully scaling a product. They also use continuous improvement, scalability, cross-functional teams. Another thing that is so key to Netflix success is, making sure that in doing research. They're constantly finding out what the user actually wants, which keys down to personalization. All the recommendations that you get as one of their subscribers is because they believe in data-driven decision making. So back end, every single click that you make, if you even by mistake stumble on a particular, show, series, whatever, immediately back end, they are keeping that technology, using technology to keep that data so that they can then use that to make recommendations to you. They can use that so you come in and it looks like, wow, Netflix really has, you might be 2 in a house, 3 in a house, using the same account login, but they personalize each and everybody's user experience. And that's one of the things that really helps them to be a successful brand. They've been able to also use disruptive technology and innovation. We all know of blockbusters, particularly people that are in the States, because I know Blockbuster didn't get all the way to Nigeria, but Blockbuster was the company that had all the market share, but Blockbuster did not innovate with time. Blockbuster was, of course, at a point, it was the most successful video rental platform, right? And they believed that the experience was actually people coming in store, getting to touch the, what were they called? The CDs. They got sometimes in very big blockbuster outlets, they would have like premieres, they would have the displays. So and then of course, as you're checking out in their store, there was also that experience of buying your candy, buying your popcorn, so that when you get home, it's almost like you're having that movie experience. So because they were, riding high in their success, they forgot to be continually innovating. Netflix also powers its success with cloud technology. So with cloud technology, they're able to have the ability to scale and move into a new country, be able to store all those movies that they have, that they're showcasing to you. It might look also that they're only they're spending a lot of money bringing out new movies, but they are also, in their response to the users, Netflix has actually been also going and paying for the rights, temporal rights. So you'll notice some old series that were very, very successful, they're bringing them back to Netflix, but they also put the time it will be available and also put all the marketing behind it so that you're still excited to want to, watch it. But so thanks to cloud technology, and they've actually been partnering with AWS cloud from their inception. So that has also been a key to their success. I am on Netflix, and I wanted to just show you how Netflix has personalized here. So some of you, if you have been very observant, this is how much Netflix has been able to personalize the experience of the user. So I'm a user of Netflix. So, and see how this relates to you. With Netflix, they're able to show me that, look, we have something new coming, something exciting coming. But they're not just showing everybody the same new things coming. They would show you new things coming and recommendations based on what you have watched previously, because that's the fastest way, because you're already hooked. That's the fastest way to turn you around and to keep you subscribing, right? They show, so new and hot, they would show things like, part of their innovation is they create a lot of hype on things that they actually, that are their personal property, that they're not like leasing for a specific time. So they have a whole marketing campaign they put And so it's almost like actually going out to like Leicester Square or going to a big premiere in a mega, cinema. So they've created all that excitement. At the same time, they still allow you to choose things like your preference. So if, for example, you prefer to watch things that are documentaries, you prefer to watch series, you prefer to watch comedy. And so imagine being able to personalize for almost 3 million people every single minute. So they are really, really top notch with regards to innovation. And has anybody noticed that they've gone into gaming? In order not to lose the younger target audience and based on data-driven decisions, they've now started putting games onto Netflix. How many people knew about that? So they're basically moving into newer things based on the feedback that they're getting from the user's experience. How many? I see some things in the chat. Okay, sorry, that was just the YouTube channel. So in a nutshell, Netflix evolved DVD rental business into online streaming, right? They use all that they're collecting every single second that you're online. They're using it for giving you exactly what you need. Remember, both Dr. Fran and Coach Ibrahim had talked to you about, understanding customer needs. They talked about research, responding based on what your customers actually need, not what you want to just give them. Netflix actually went out of their way in order to be able to churn out all these movies, because you wonder, how are they sponsoring even movies? Now they actually have local productions in cities like in Nigeria. They're actually paying for productions to start. And in order to be successful in this scaling and being able to, the global reach, they actually have, they have a studio where they give the tools to the people doing the production to be able to, do the editing, do all the post-production in the cloud. So they have gone, they've really, really, really gone far. So the customer needs, they're customer friendly. The most recent thing they've done that is not customer friendly is, trying to make every single person pay for subscription, trying to cut out people sharing, passwords and all that. But other than that, they are truly a customer-centric organization. And then they make sure that the UI, that's the user interface of their platform, is also friendly. Whether you're my dad that's 80 years old, he can go onto Netflix and he can actually easily move through the UI. They make it really intuitive, easy to use. So there's nothing like, oh, it's too complex. It's not complex, very simple, because they're constantly seeing what the customers want. Another major brand that I felt would be great to bring to our to the case study is Tesla. I don't have a Tesla, but every single way you go to, because there's a Tesla mega factory in Austin, in Texas. So maybe I told somebody one day that like 1 out of every 10 cars on the roads in Texas is a Tesla. But Tesla is beyond just being now the top automobile brand. It's actually a brand that has transcended itself, because they also are actually a solar business. I'm not sure whether you all knew that when Tesla started, it didn't actually start from scratch. It started from the GM trying to have its first EV car, right? And it was called the Roadster. That was actually the version 1. And in 2003, that's when Tesla was born, from that first Roadster. And in 2004, Elon Musk then became a co-founder, and of course later he became the CEO of Tesla. They believe in incremental and iterative innovation. So even though a model comes out and you're thinking, my God, this is the most sleek car, the most sleek technology, Tesla still puts in a lot to, improving their products. Then in investigating more about, because I just really, really am so fond of this brand. Do you know that when they started, they were the first brand based on, all the sources I saw. They were actually, yes, you can go to an automobile dealer and pre-book a new car coming. So, 20, 25 cars are coming, you can pre-book. But Tesla was the very first one that people were, even when it was more of like a concept, people are willing to wait 2 years, 2.5 years for their vehicle that they ordered to come out. So they innovated on the actual purchasing process. They are innovative in the energy source for their cars, which is, the solar. They're innovative in the purchasing process. They're innovative in making sure that they actually have a vertical manufacturing process. Vertical integration manufacturing process, meaning that they try to make sure that they acquire the production items that they need to make the cars. A lot of the automobile companies, a lot of them source out different parts from different places, but with Tesla, they've done a vertical integration of many of the different parts that come up. Then once you've bought the car, they still continue with innovation. Once you bought the car, you are constantly having updates, just like if you have a Mac or you have whatever mini devices you have your iPhone, there are updates. They are actually constantly, as you're driving, they're collecting data. So again, the data-driven decision making. So the vehicles, even when you have already collected, you're already using it, they're constantly using innovation. They've also invested a lot into having charging points. Those charging points have actually been part of what has also helped with their not just lead generation, but actually converting people to purchasers. Because in the end, you don't want to be stuck just having a charging point in your house and getting stuck half of the way to wherever you're going. And before you leave, the technology actually calculates the energy that you have in the car, how far it will take you, where is the next charging point, etc. So Tesla has cracked iterative development and continuous improvement. As good as it is, as sleek as it is, as we are speaking right now, they are probably doing some continuous improvement. They believe in customer feedback. And customer feedback, like I said, they are constantly updating software. You're driving, they're giving you information, they're updating, they're doing, software updates. So it's not until you send a feedback form to a customer that you get feedback. It's not until you call for a focus group or call them into a particular place to come and do testing. Sorry. So they are constantly collecting feedback because they've made sure that they've put in chips to be collecting information of every single thing a driver is doing. So innovative technologies. They've made sure that that part that is makes them different from most other vehicles, that they have that the infrastructure for being able to create batteries themselves, infrastructure for the solar part of their business. And then agile leadership. Actually, agile leadership, both Tesla and Netflix, they really believe in from the leadership all the way down to their teams. They believe in the cross-functional collaboration, and they lead by the agile methodologies. And of course, I want to, at this point, ask you, looking at what Netflix and Tesla have done, what would you say are some similar things? We talked about customer centricity. So customer centricity, and what other things would you say are similar in their perspective to scaling their successful product? You can come on video or put it in the chat. What are some of the things you've seen that are similar? And there are things that had come up earlier. See, someone has data-driven decision-making. Yes, data-driven, so research and collecting data, or using technology to be able to collect the data in innovative ways. Any other person? Customer data collection, yeah. Customer data collection, absolutely. And in a world where there's so much data, there's a lot of privacy and stuff. The truth is, as a Tesla customer, you are happy for it to constantly be collecting information about you. It knows everywhere you've gone to. It knows what you're doing. It knows when you were driving. It knows, of course, because it's also generative learning. What they're collecting, they use that also to build into the pattern of when you then say, hey, Tesla, drive yourself. It's a self-driving car, right? So they're really going to be able to tailor and personalize, just like Netflix is personalizing your user experience. Tesla is able to personalize those experiences for its users. I see disruptive technology. Yes, the two brands are just like Apple. They're up there with regards to this disruptive technology. Continuous improvement. They are not, sitting on their laurels that we've made the best automobile product. There's no need for it. No, constantly improving. I see they keep evolving. They don't just stop. They continue. Absolutely, continuous improvement. Yeah. So with that, I've come to the end of my of the case studies for you. I hope you are as excited as I was, because these two brands, they excite me. These two brands, if you're here today and you're probably going for an interview, or these are things that it helps you to see how you can put together what you talk about with regards to product management. They are big on every successful brand has to be big on feedback, both from their external customers and their internal customers. Continuous improvement. I'm going to hand over now back to Coach Ibrahim for the conclusion.
Okay, so we'll go to the next slide. And while we go to the next slide, I would like someone in the audience to tell us about, or you can put it in the chat, what is your most successful product and why do you love that product? And you can say it in something in relation to something new you want to share with us, or what we've talked about. What products do you love the most and why do you love them? So I'll go to conclusion, and if anyone has a question, please raise your hand. If you want to have any contribution, let us know. So in Agile product management, prioritizing the customer and prioritizing change is critical to product success and scalability. A lot of the case studies that we heard about, it talks about, if you look at Netflix and Tesla, it all talks about different change that's happened with technology, and different companies have been able to come up and capitalize on those change, from going to the stage, to the cinema, to blockbusters, to being able to watch DVD, to being able to watch things on the internet, to streaming with Netflix, from being able to transport from the wheel to the bicycle, the cars, to Tesla, electric cars, software, cars, which Tesla really is. They've evolved in all different ways. And technology change with time has helped to do that. And change in what the customer wants has helped to do that. So in product management, prioritizing that change and what the customer wants is critical to success and scalability. The companies that do these are the ones that are successful. Success does not come from delivering a feature. Success is learning how to solve the customer's problem. And companies that will be successful in developing a winning product, they are those that are able to see the world through the customer's eyes and bridge that gap between them and the evolving needs of the current market.
Thank you. Any questions? We're slowly coming to the end of today's session. We hope that it's been of value to the audience. Are there any questions? Are there any key takeaways, things that you can look forward to applying at work in your
Gabrielle is saying, can I have the previous slide, please?
Oh, I should go back to it.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We've got just about 7 minutes. Any questions? Okay, please put in the chat something a major takeaway for you.
So Gabrielle is asking how those all of this help me as someone learning Scrum.
Would anybody like to take that?
As a Scrum Master, go ahead.
No, I'd like someone to take it.
So as a Scrum Master, you are there to help your teams deliver these products. And as we talked about, iterative way of delivering value. So you are coaching your teams, you are coaching your product owner, you are trying to make them understand what the business initiative is and how you as a team are aligned to the business goals and the business initiative. So as a team coach, as a Scrum Master, all this in here will be able to help you help your team scale and help them be organized and high-performing team, self-organized team and high-performing team. So you coaches can add, any of you can add if you have anything.
Yeah, I'd also like to add.
I hope that answered your question.
Deborah, so how can I grow from Scrum Mastery to Agile Product Management? But just before that, how does all of this help me as someone learning Scrum? As someone learning Scrum, even if you are doing your CSM for now, understanding the product life cycle, understanding product management, even understanding some of the areas with regards to the dev work. You're not going to do dev work. You're not going to do QA work, but you need to understand everything that goes into the product. So when we are talking innovation, the people that actually execute it would be the devs, right? But as the Scrum Master working on a product team, you need to be able to understand every single thing that goes into it, from the product roadmap to why they need to do research, why you need to understand the customer and all. So it's definitely something you need to know. So it's very, very important if you're working in the industry. So how can I grow from Scrum Master?
Yeah, and then also it's important for you when you're working on a cross-functional teams. Yvonne, I thank you for putting that. You must understand your product, because you cannot lead your teams if you don't understand that product. And you should be in liaison and in communication with product managers, your product owner. When you're doing your art and your PI planning, you are involved there. So all this Scrum Master is in it. You are part of this.
Yeah. And once you understand this, your confidence level to speak up in a meeting to contribute definitely increases, and you'll be able to guide your team better. Yeah. Any other person? Okay.
Let me just quickly add to that. As a Scrum Master, there are a lot of resources on the internet for you to learn about agile product management. So immerse yourself in learning what it's all about. Since you're a Scrum Master, you're going to be in an environment where there are product managers. Try and cultivate a relationship with them, learn what they do, try and sort of like mentor them if you have the time at work, and see if it's something that will suit you would like doing. And if it is, then you can invest in certification or going that career growth approach.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Coach Ibrahim. So I'll just quickly take us through a little bit more about us. So please follow us. We do have a website, so you see information there. So you visit our website, agiledisciples.com, USA.com, and follow us on our social media platforms. We said that all our videos from our events, and like I said, 3 years running, you'd find them on Agile Disciples USA on YouTube, and we're Agile Disciples USA on LinkedIn, IG, X, and on Facebook. And we're excited. Is Coach Divine on the call? Is Coach Divine on the call?
Yes.
Thank you. So I want you to come and talk to us. Tell us briefly why they should not miss our next event.
Thank you very much,
Divine.
SB, and thank you, everyone. Adam, Dr. Fran, I know it's been a long day for you guys. You guys have been up since almost 8 a.m. till now, and this is a lot of commitment. I was saying something that if you want to raise money for Agile Disciples, I think the next event is one that we can market and make so much money. I'm just messing with you. But
that's how much it's worth. Yeah, but because we are not for profit.
The truth of the matter is, if you really, really, really want to make impacts, please don't miss this. Years ago, I was fired in an organization. I resumed at 10 a.m. and by 4 p.m., they told me don't come back the next day. Now, getting a job is one thing. Staying on the job is another. How do you stay on the job? How do you get relevant? How do you even get a job? How do you want to brand yourself? These are several questions that will be answered by Coach Bob. One of the challenges I had in America when I came is how to have conversation with leadership. The first person that taught me how to do it was Uncle Bob, telling me that, Divine, don't use the stop saying you're sorry and all that. So trust me, if you don't want to miss this next event, if you love somebody, let them attend. I'm not saying it because we want the crowd, but I'm saying because it's reality. And trust me, you will not regret meeting that. We talk about personal branding. A lot of people are losing their jobs now, and yet they are hiring a lot of people. How can you stay hired? How can recruiters look for you? Well, I don't talk too much. We'll see next month. Thank you.
Thank you.